friends. Here we are going to discuss a case study on an accusation of sexual harassment in pro sports.
I want to say it as loud as I possibly can. I am innocent. I'm very innocent, and I did not do the things that she accused me in this courtroom of doing.
Who?
Isia Lord Thomas, born in April 1961, is an American former basketball player who played professionally for the Detroit Pistons in the National Basketball Association, which is NBA. A point guard, the 12th time NBA All-Star, was named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA's history and inducted into Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Thomas has also been a professional and collegiate head coach and a basketball executive and a broadcaster.
A New York jury has called a major foul on Knicks coach and president Isaiah Thomas.
The jury in a sexual harassment brought by a former high-ranking New York Knicks basketball team executive recently awarded her over $11 million in punitive damages. Officials of the Madison Square Garden said they would appeal the verdict. However, even if they were to win on appeal, the case still exposed the organization and its managers to a great deal of unfavorable publicity.
Tuesday, jurors ruled that Thomas sexually harassed a former female top team executive. They said Anuka Brown Sanders was subjected to unwanted advances and verbal insults.
Whom?
The suit was filed by the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Business Operations of Knicks and former Northwestern University basketball star Mrs. Anuka Brownie Sanders against the team's owner Madison Square Garden and its president Isia Thomas. The suit charged them with sexual discrimination and their intentions. Mrs. Brownie Sanders accused Mrs. Thomas of verbally abusing and sexually harassing her over a 2-year period and says the garden fired her about a month after she complained to the top management about harassment.
At the trial, the Garden cited numerous explanations for the dismissal, saying she had failed to fulfill the professional responsibilities. At a news conference, Brown Sanders said that Mr. Thomas refused to stop his demanding and repulsive behavior, and the Garden refused to intercede. Mr. Thomas vigorously insisted he was innocent and said, "I will not allow her or anybody, man or woman, to use me as a pawn for their financial gain." According to one report of the trial, her claims of harassment and verbal abuse had little corroboration from witnesses, but neither did the Garden's claims that her performance had been subpar.
I'm extremely disappointed that the jury could not see the facts in this case. I will appeal this, and I remain confident in the man that I am and what I stand for and the family that I have. Thank you.
After the jury decision came in favor of the plaintiff, Brownie Sanders' lawyer said him confirm what we have been saying all along, that was sexually abused and fired for complaining about it. The Garden statement said in part that we look forward to presenting our argument to an appeal court and believe they will agree that no sexual harassment took place.
Do you think Ms. Brown Sanders had a basis for a sexual harassment suit? Why or why not?
Yeah, Ms. Brownie Sanders has a basis for the harassment suit because he has been sexually harassed in a company for more than 2 years, and also the president of the company uses some offensive languages, and but it is not good for a reputed company, and we can say that Ms. Brownie go and to complain to the top management about the sexual harassment of the president, and but is unable to say the top management fired her. We all know the company how to, for every company it's not big or small, they have to follow certain ethics. They have to treat their employees equally. There is no discrimination between men and women. They have to pay them on the basis of their work, their performance, their ability and their skill, and not because of any others. Okay, so every company have to follow this type of rules and procedures. It will here Miss Brownie done this, and it will also what inspired to the other workers working in that organization. Okay.
From what you know of this case, do you think the jury arrived at the correct decision? If not, why not? If so, why?
We had arrived at the correct decision because harassing women is against the law, and Mr. Thomas did the same mistake. If not for the others, they will be punished for this reason. Primarily, and if the jury would have not arrived at this conclusion, it would state that the law had closed her eyes.
Based on the few facts that you have, what steps, if any, could garden management have taken to protect themselves from the liability in this matter?
Here in this case, Miss Brownie was fired by the employer, and she was fired nothing but she was fired because she raised a complaint to the top management that she was sexually harassed by the supervisor. Okay, but here the most painful thing is that we can see what's the job of an employer. As an employer, he have to protect the interest of all the employees working under him. So here in this case it was totally different. Here there is no ethical practices followed by the employer, and also here it's a very good case for racial discrimination. Okay, so we can't tolerate this. This type of issues were happening a lot in this current scenario. So we have to do something against this type of racial discrimination. It is not good for developing countries like India. So the one thing we can do is that we have to implement the clear rules and procedures. Okay, that is, the rules must be strict and it have to be followed by everyone from the top management to the lower level of management, so that they will treat everyone equally.
Aside from the appeal, what would you do now if you were the garden's top management?
Apart from the appeal, the garden management should take necessary action against Mr. Thomas. They should define a code of conduct to behave properly in this organization.
The allegations against Madison Square Garden in this case raise ethical questions with regard to the employer's action. Explain whether you agree or disagree with this statement and why.
Garden management should not have fired her for complaining against the president. Instead, they could have assured Mrs. Brownie Sanders of the inquiry and have taken necessary steps. Else they could have negotiated with her and solved the problem. The management could have asked Mrs. Brownie Sanders to focus on her job as her performance was very low.